This is the Hampstead cover-up, and we're joined once again by Ella and Abraham. So I just want to say a big hi to Ella and Abraham.
Hello. Hello. Nice to hear you.
Hi. So we've been talking about the court dates that's coming up, and some big information where you're going to expose people that was dealing with your case. So I mean, if I just step back and you guys can explain to the wider public what's actually going on with your case at the moment, the Hampstead case.
All right. To begin with, I would like to make a couple of announcements, if it's okay. All right. So, in regards to the court dates, we would ask for the public support on the 4th, which is the appeal date. Is going to be the same open hearing at the Royal Court of Justice at the Court of Appeal, and also big thank you to those people who came last time on the 23rd of July. I'm sure it had an effect. So the judges and the judiciary, they cannot do whatever they want, like they do normally behind the closed doors of the secret family court. Here they're in the open. So if you can, please come and support Alice and Gabriel on the 4th at 10 o'clock. And another very important information that we would like to put out to the people is that, we'll say.
Okay. We'd like now to make public our disassociation from the Association of Mackenzie Friends. We haven't contacted them for 5 months now. We hoped in vain that they would step down from the case, but they seem determined to
keep imposing themselves and keep placing themselves in the eyes of public as supporters and representatives and the children, but they have nothing to do, neither with Alice and Gabriel, nor with us, with me, Ella, and Abraham.
So their intention, the intention of these Mackenzie Friends, was to frame Ella, jail her, and then set themselves up as credible representatives in this case, in order to fleece the general public with their charitable scams. They are charity scammers. They have been. It's not the first time they've been caught out doing this, and the reason they are not prosecuted for this, we feel, is because they are linked to the government, to the cult, via Belinda Mackenzie directly, who we believe is an MI5 operative. And our experience with these people shows us that we should have had nothing to do with them. We disassociate from them publicly now.
Which is quite overdue already, but of course we were, until we had hard evidence, we were
reluctant to
release it. We wanted to give them a chance. But then, but we were on the verge of making this announcement for quite a few times now.
As I said previously, we hoped in vain that they would take the opportunity to step away from the case. They haven't, and they continue with their tavy-speak and their attempted handling of the case. Sabine McNeil has just leaked her intention to return on Monday to the UK, and she has sought the services of the barrister who has recently helped to acquit Ben Fellows. Now, Ella is going to explain to the public the mechanism whereby they attempted to jail Ella, frame Ella for a crime that she had not committed, for something that Sabine McNeil had done, to incarcerate Ella and to silence her. But they have been exposed. They conspired with the court, and Ella will explain to you now the mechanism whereby they intended to silence Ella.
Yes. So I would start from the point of the 26th of January. That was the last hearing which I attended in person, and where Sabine McNeil prepared and persuaded me in making a statement in the court that day. But at that point, we were already confident that the court is not intending to play it fairly, and the intention is to handle the children to the father. So the statement was about.
The statement contained a veiled threat to expose the court and their handling of the case. I had returned from Morocco to assist Ella after she had spent 5 months going to the court. Ella was
Exhausted.
I think, yeah.
I would say.
Ella was exhausted.
I was extremely stressed and exhausted,
and
especially seeing that how the court, how the lawyers are lying, are fabricating as they go.
How the court is implicated in stealing the children.
Exactly.
And they have the template. Now, we'd advised Ella not to waste too much energy, but to go to court just to confirm to herself exactly what we already knew. However, when Ella got in contact with the Mackenzies, we weren't aware that these groups are counterintelligence, controlled opposition, placed strategically in this position, entrap and ensnare unsuspecting mothers who are fighting for their children.
In the court. And they're working together with the court in order to quash the cases, to jail the mothers, and to make sure that the children are going to remain in the care or be handed to the abusive fathers.
Belinda Mackenzie regularly writes to the court, writes to the judges, and in the letters that she writes to the judges, Tavish speaks. Tavish speak is what we call cult word magic, where they obfuscate, lie, omit, and substitute words in order to promote their own particular meme or agenda. Now,
and to manipulate the perception.
And to manipulate the perception
of the message
of the masses, and also to retain the trust of the unsuspecting mothers that they are allegedly representing.
And that's exactly what Hampstead Research was doing as well. But we'll come back to that. So I would like to concentrate on what actually was going on. On the 9th of February, Susanna Hargreaves, who is a local authority solicitor, she writes to the court saying that, advising court that it was me and Sabine McNeil who were responsible for publishing the material online. And as a response, Judge Puffley, via her clerk, Barry Clark, responds that she's intending to hear the case next day on the 10th. Barry Clark then responds to, writes to Hargreaves saying that she's the one who is responsible for making other parties aware. I've been copied to this message in this email. However, Sabine McNeil never been copied.
Did you get that?
Because this is important piece of information. The correspondence I've been copied. I've never been served an official document summoning me to the court. That was merely an email, and I was.
It was an illegal and unlawful means of advising Ella,
especially via hostile litigant.
Susanna Hargreaves.
The entire time, Sabine was not copied in any of this correspondence.
So the person who actually released the court material wasn't copied, but the mother,
themselves, right?
As they state themselves, they know this.
For some reason, she was not advised.
So there was no need to advise her because they didn't need to silence Sabine McNeil. You were the one who needed to silence.
Exactly.
So this is their template. And Sabine McNeill, Belinda Mackenzie, Joe Hopefully, Barry Clark the Clerk, and Suzanne Hargreaves regularly work together. There was only one outsider in this little charade, and that was Ella. And these five together, they conspired. They conspired to incarcerate Ella because they do it on a regular basis. This is why these courts are secret.
Right. So, but what happened? Belinda Mackenzie writes to the court, and I just wanted to quote. This is what she says. I don't know, 16th of February, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Afterwards.
That's what I have.
She's saying that I wish to say to you, and will say publicly, that the mother herself is entirely innocent of publishing materials online. So on, so on. And then she also saying, so she is naturally extremely shocked and disappointed that their faces are now all over the internet. Now, what happened? When Abraham came to London, after this, a few days after this, this last hearing which I attended.
It helps to know that the Mackenzies had been handling Ella. Ella was in London alone.
And I was trusting these people.
And she had given all her case documents over to the Mackenzie friends. All right. Now, when I arrived back from when I arrived in the UK to assist Ella, because as I say, she was exhausted. And she'd come to the realization that there was nothing that she was going to achieve in the court. And when we made this clear to the Mackenzies, Belinda, on 3 separate occasions, asked Ella, so you're not going to the court anymore? You're not planning to go to the court anymore? Okay. Now, Sabine McNeill's reaction was more hostile. She was openly hostile.
Only after we said that this meeting after Abraham came to London, we told Mackenzie friends, it was a group of them, we were 4 or 5 people, and we said that we're not gonna go to the courts since we feel we're not achieving anything at all. And we're going to start a campaign and to make public aware of what's going on. And so when we said that, Sabine McNeill gone crazy, huh?
She became open towards me. She put her hand in front of my face 4 times when I was going to speak. She eventually, when I attempted to make light of it and break the ice and just make light of her behaviour, she eventually flounced out of the room, saying that she had been hurt.
The reason she's been hurt is that their intention was to keep me in the courts. And of course, when they heard that we're going to start a campaign, which is jeopardizing their agenda, they decided to hijack this campaign and throw everything, all the court material, all the sensitive material online, and then so I will be blamed.
And then for Ella to be, their plan was for Ella to be implicated in this crime, and for her to be incarcerated and to be silenced, and for them to therefore hijack the case and extract charitable funds from the unsuspecting public.
And so I would like to reconfirm the point which is already made. All those people, Belinda Mackenzie, Sabine McNeill, Barry Clark, Susanna Hargreaves, and Judge Puffley, they all knew who's published the material. And
they knew because it's not the first time that Sabine that the Mackenzies have done this. Have published mothers' court documents online, or incarcerated mothers.
However, and this never been dealt with, even though they all knew that they used.
Yes, and so Ella has been, she's been painted as a sort of irresponsible mother who's published the documents online and who has now run away and abandoned her children. This is their meme, their Tavistock meme. And even now, as we speak, there are many followers of Belinda and Sabine who find it difficult to believe that two old ladies could be so deceitful, and we would explain to them that underhand, and we would explain that even now, Linda is in her house now, saying that the children should go to the grandparents. Even now, she is still speaking and attempting to handle the case.
Since I allowed the abuse of the children.
Yes,
even now, she's saying that I should go back to the UK together with Sabine to make a dramatic entry and to be handcuffed. And she's saying that there's no problem, you're gonna be brought to the court from the prison.
It's okay to go to jail.
Yeah.
For what reason?
But for what reason I should go?
What reason should Ella be going to jail? Ella has committed no crime. Why should her children have been taken? And because she's speaking out and exposing the criminals, why should she go to jail? Because this is what they do to difficult mothers. Sabine McNeil and Belinda Mackenzie are working for the child stealers, are working for the cult.
For the government.
It's difficult for their followers to believe this. And we are challenging many people's belief systems. But if you look closely at their behavior, you will see that they are obvious. They're obvious counterintelligence operatives. Belinda, along with Christine Sands and Ray Savage, they performed a little theatre to close down the vigils at the church. If you look at the video with Ray Savage saying he believes Ella 100%, that Ella is speaking 100% the truth, where he redirects the energy of the vigils to the elections, that was what exposed him. And Belinda is there, looking sheepish, and Christine Ann Sands. So the three agents, the witch, the bitch, and the snitch.
Yeah, and Christine Ann Sands trying to discredit the whole thing.
So they're all there, and the reason they were sent to close down the vigils is because they are continuing to sacrifice infants at the church, because for them that location is an auspicious site because it amplifies the energy of child sacrifice due to the church and the school being built on two dissecting ley lines. And if you research this, you'll find that this is common practice for these cults.
And this is why they're doing it there.
Now, my own experience with their antics was when I was in London and Ella was in Morocco, and Ella called me to ask me to accompany her parents to the Russian embassy because Belinda had informed her that there was an offer on the table from a high-ranking police officer in regard to children. I later received a call from the barrister, a friend of Belinda, who Belinda had introduced her to, who advised me that there was an offer on the table from a high-ranking police officer. So they didn't
from someone
in the Russian embassy, an official at the Russian embassy. Sorry. So they got their wires crossed there, their stories crossed there. When Ella called me and I spoke to her about it, I told her that I wasn't happy. Something didn't feel right about it. It didn't feel legitimate. Ella asked me to please go and to have a look in case, which I did. However, I later, on arrival at the Russian embassy, it was clear to me that this was another Mackenzie scam, and that Belinda had orchestrated my appearance and the parents' appearance and the barrister's appearance at the embassy, along with her Igor cameraman, her little double agent translator, Russian translator. She had orchestrated this whole charade in order to access the details to a fund that the Russian embassy provides for Russian nationals who require help with their legal fees.
Well, abroad.
That's right. And this was the reason why we were all manipulated or hoodwinked to go there. That's just
So I'll
another.
instruct this barrister as well to act on my behalf for them to do what they were intending to do.
And they were very insistent. We couldn't understand why they were so insistent on us instructing this barrister, and it all became clear once we realised that their intention was to access this fund. So it seems that not only do the Mackenzies assist the cult in stealing, the social services and the courts in stealing children, but they also line their pockets and are never prosecuted for these crimes. However, due to their bungling of this particular case, it seems that their local rag, the cult rag, the Ham and High, they've done a bit of a hatchet job on them, exposing them as charity scammers in this particular case, and it seems that they're rapidly becoming out of favour with the cult.
Yes, and another important issue is that whilst I think it was on the same day of the visit to the Russian embassy, when Abraham visited Belinda's house in order to photocopy the children's drawings, and that was the only place where the drawings were taken out of the folder.
Only I and Belinda were there. I had possession of the drawings, and only I and Belinda were there, and I entrusted Belinda to make photocopies of them. We later noticed that there were Lena Upson, a high-ranking member of the cult, who's the one whose name is on the 35,000 Barbara Khan company. And she's the one
and was implicated in
fun as the cult advertises their child sacrifice and child sodomy and Nazareth.
And of course, there was a lot of the videos, a lot of the visuals Belinda made with her TV speak, where she's, it seems like she's supporting the case, but she's underhandedly put some poison in there, like
Yes.
Hands of Hampstead,
Hands of Hampstead.
or
Yes.
leave Hampstead alone,
Yeah, we believe that Belinda
or
Ella's hiding like a fox in a den. We believe that Belinda Mackenzie is a high-ranking Masonic witch. And
No, this is the information we've been advised on.
and her Tavish speak Hands of Hampstead was when her Hampstead friends were telling her to help them. They were asking for help to ease off the pressure, to ease the pressure from Hampstead. What she should have been saying is, hands of the innocent children, you sodomizing child murderers. This is what she should really have been saying, not hands of Hampstead, which is a den of child murdering sodomite Talmudic beasts. Yes. And we'd like to move on now, because
There's another little point I wanted to make. Sorry to interrupt.
go on.
That not just that we are disassociating from Mackenzie friends, but also I would like to say that we stopped any communication with Hampstead Research as well after they published another important piece of court material, which is Jean Clement recordings.
They got from Sabine McNeil.
Exactly. After we expressly
They asked them not. They
asked them not to do that.
They asked us, may they publish it, and we told them that we were going to publish the Jean Clement recordings on our website as and when we were ready, and in the format that we wished to present it. In the same way, we told Sabine McNeil that we were going to publish the children's videos,
And please don't publish anything.
and this seems to be another template of theirs, that they love to leak. They like to leak sensitive documents. Yeah.
But not only this incident, there were quite a few things. For example,
Look, it's a PSYOP. The Hampstead Research blog and website is a psychological operation. It's a PR operation Charlotte Ward, whatever her name is. She's a
Jackie Farmer.
Jackie Farmer. She's Belinda's little protege. She stayed a year or so in Belinda's house, and
She's been in close contact with Belinda and Sabine the whole time.
yes, and we're exposing them all now. They're counterintelligence operatives. They work all of these cases, along with the likes of Brian Gerrish,
And
Bill Maloney,
who
and
actually
Ian Collins.
who informed the police a few days after the first interview of the children. And we believe that perhaps Brian Gerrish is also responsible for assisting to kidnap the children.
When we arrived on September the 4th with the children from Morocco, he was the first person we contacted as he was recommended to us.
Actually, someone kept imposing him on us, but I would say.
When he arrived, he didn't arrive until the day after the children had been kidnapped. And we spent the day together, and I was unable to give him a copy of the videos, but I managed to give him a copy of some audio of some of the video. These audios somehow found their way into the hands of the local authority, and Ella was questioned about these audios.
And I couldn't make a sense out of it because we never had audios, and but this word kept coming in during quite a few hearings, and then it's only after.
Later on we realised, because when Brian spent the day with me, Brian Gerrish, Ella was at court for the first day of the hearings.
The proceedings.
For the proceedings, yes. And so she was unaware that I had given him the audio. And so it didn't click. But it wasn't until later that we both realised that the only person who had any audios was Brian Gerrish. However, we decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, because we couldn't be sure what audios the local authority were referring to.
And on the 11th, after children been taken, I also emailed him this extensive file which found its way on the internet, where all the members of the cult are listed, and all these who were coming to school for so-called sex parties on Wednesdays. So I was explaining about this email which I sent to him late night that day on the 11th. So, and because of these audios and
what happened was that
we were suspicious about this whole situation.
We were suspicious of Brian Gerrish.
But of course we didn't want to say anything and to make our final conclusion. But what happened lately, that way, which confirms the cover-up. But on the other side of it, the other aspect of it is that it shows that Brian Gerrish and Bill Maloney are also part of the control opposition. Maybe Abraham, will you explain what happened with this? These are internal emails within the police.
This is a line of emails. This is a trail of emails that leads from Ella. Well, let me give you the trail.
Yeah, please do.
Ella sent the email, the list of all of the cult members, the details of the tattoos, and the venues, the distinguishing marks on their pupenda, the venues where the children were being sodomized and ritually sacrificed, and lots more material. So Ella sent this file to Brian Gerrish. Brian Gerrish held on to the file for 4 days. We don't know who he sent it to.
Meanwhile,
however, Steve Martin received a copy of this file. He received it. By the time this email got to Steve Martin, which it actually did, he already had his own copy. So, which email stated that this file had been received by the informant. So then So what happened? Ella sent the email to Brian Garish. Brian Garish sends the email to Bill at clientmatchfilm.com. Bill Maloney. Bill Maloney, he sends a file. What time does he send?
Next day, I think. The next day he sends. And then he sends it.
No, 15th. That's the day that he got it on the 15th from Brian Garish.
Right.
Brian Garish sent it, and Brian Garish sent it on the 15th. Bill Maloney sent it to Nathan Numbnuts Wedger. Okay, a police informant. Nathan sends it to Paul Armstrong, a policeman. He says, I have received this disturbing email message this morning, which includes allegations of serious wrongdoing by Metropolitan Police officers. Please ensure that it is urgent action to the appropriate investigation team to deal, and call me back when you have read it. This is Paul Armstrong writing to Anne Bewley at the headquarters of the Directorate of Professional Standards, the DPS. This is a body that is supposed to be overseeing
The complaint department of the police, or Metropolitan Police, as I understand.
The next person to get the email is a Craig Langley, PS, from the DPS Intelligence Bureau. Eventually, he sends it to Victoria Barnes. Now, Victoria Barnes works in the SOECA unit, LIT unit, the same unit as DS Steve Martin, Freemason policeman DS Steve Martin, who is investigating the case. And she said, when she writes to Steve, she said, the below email chain was received today, Steve. The below email has found its way to SOECA lit via DPS. I have read the contents and it appears identical to a current investigation of yours. Number 24198991/14, concerning allegations of sexual and ritual abuse at Christchurch Primary School. The email appears to be one in means one and. The email appears to be one and the same sent by the mother to the informant, and the contents appear on your crypt. Anyway, I'll reiterate. It says the email appears to be one and the same sent by the mother to the informant, and the contents appear on your crypt. So,
And the informant, most likely, is
There's-
referred to as a
there's
garish.
There's only one person that ever sent that email to, other than my brother-in-law, who is a special police sergeant. And
Who already had all the information.
yes, and I doubt very much they'd be calling him an informant as a special police sergeant. The only other person ever sent that information to was Brian Garish. Now, Brian Garish and Bill Maloney were both aware of that email. Brian on the 11th of September, Bill on the 15th of September 2014. They were both aware of the email and its content. None of them have said anything. The only time Brian covered the story was 6 months later, when it was in the mainstream media, when the Daily Mail and others did an attempted hatchet job on Ella and myself. And then Brian was obliged to mention the story on UK column. Now, within those emails, do you want to say something? Within those emails are references to the tattoos and the drawings the children made. 2 years earlier, Bill Maloney, he was privy to an interview that the fellow Andrew, who was abused by Leon Britton, gave to newspapers. And in this interview, Andrew explained that he'd been accused by Leon Britton, and Leon Britton had a tattoo on his pubenta. And Andrew drew the tattoo. And Bill Maloney, in his telling of the story, he was perceivably stressed when he was telling the story to Lou Collins. Now, Lou Collins, she said on the day that Brian covered the story, he said he'd been sitting on it for 6 months. She said Bill's aware of the story and he's working quietly in the background. So we were wondering what work Bill was doing in the background. And he knew about Leon Britton's tattoo, and so when he received our file, he knew that this story was legit. So I want to know why Bill Maloney has said nothing about this case. Why, Bill? Why have you said nothing about the Hampstead case when you know it's legitimate, son? Eh? And you, Brian Harvey, why have you said nothing when you know it's legit and you had the emails and you passed them on to Bill Maloney and whoever else you passed them to? This is the question we want to know, but we know the answer. Your shield's the pair of you, and you're being exposed now.
And it looks like this type of people are planted there within the society, and they shouting loud about child abuse, and it is make it look like they're exposing.
Yeah.
However, they're merely saying what already is available now.
Absolutely.
And they.
They're trying to draw the people away from the real truth, and they
And
can't.
that's right.
Yeah.
Is to manipulate the perception of people.
Yes, and betray the children.
And also establish them as some credible authority
That's
in this
right.
field. So people victims who want to speak out, or witnesses who want to give evidence, they go to them.
Like Belinda McKenzie, standing outside with a megaphone outside the Royal Court of Justice.
And these people are never get arrested, nor this.
Huh?
While other people who talk a little bit, or they've been jailed,
Yeah.
like Melanie Shaw, for example.
Hey, they'll hound Ella out the country, yeah? But Bill Maloney can go and he can give mouth to Nick Clegg outside the Houses of Parliament. He can go and give a load of mouth to, what's his name? What's the other fella, Maxwell? We've got, what's his name? Clifford, Max Clifford. But if we did it, we'd be nicked. We'd be nicked immediately. Alright? And they don't fool me, and I've had enough. Alright, they sat on the story, and they both had emails. And they were sharing the emails with their craft, with their mate Nathan Numbnuts Wedger. And they passed it, and the email got all the way back to Steve. Alright? It all got all the way back to Steve Martin.
And also, we're not quite sure what is the involvement of Brian Garish in kidnapping of our children was as well, because he knew about the story the whole time. Well, since almost soon after we came back.
That's right.
And also, what I was going to mention when Abraham was saying about the tattoos. Remember that the children drew all, the quite a few drawings we've got drawn by the children, and which depicts the tattoos on private parts.
And the drawing of Galina Upson, a high-ranking member of the cult, went missing during the photocopying session around a notorious MI5 witch's house.
And that's Belinda McKenzie.
Yes, and she can lie, cry, and deny all she wants.
But this is the fact. These drawings were not anywhere else apart from the place.
I mean, it's shocking information, I mean, these people are there, obviously, for people like yourselves, that don't find any help from the authorities, and they've let you down big time, and now you look back, you can see that quite clearly.
Not only us, they betray everybody who comes into contact with them.
Well,
because
exactly.
they're strategically placed there to do that job. And they will lie, cry, and deny.
but this is the facts. We're talking the facts.
Yeah, to try and help other people that might be in the same situation and give them a warning, a heads up.
Well, it makes perfect sense.
And also to be warned, to be careful, to be cautious in this. If someone find themselves in this. In the circumstances, to know that, be careful who you go and give your information to.
What either you or Ella said earlier, you said that it makes sense for them to have these mechanisms in place.
Yeah, I think Ella said that, yeah.
People like the mechanism.
Of course, because they would need to handle those witnesses and people who come forward to talk. They would need to quash it right there and then. And they developed a complicated and functioning system to quietly, legally, in inverted commas.
Yeah, because I mean, recently you mentioned Melanie Shaw, and recently she was she's just come out of prison and she was doing an interview at Brian Gerish's studios, and actually the police come looking for her the next day. And they was knocking on the door at Brian's place and that, so it sounds really dodgy.
Oh, it's dodgy. It's dodgy, like, brother.
Yeah.
It's all dodgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these cartel operatives, there's lots of them out there, but we
came across those.
These are the ones we've come across, and we're exposing them because we're new to this.
Yeah.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight to the end. They're gonna resist. This is their.
Yeah, but I think this case has really blown it all open, hasn't it?
Well, it's exposing some of them. But as you said before, when you reveal the fact that Belinda is a counterintelligence operative, or that Brian Garish or that Bill Maloney have sat on this story, knowing the veracity of the children's testimonies, and they've said absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They're controlled opposition. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there was something else. I'm sure about the updates. No, we just mentioned a few things that's going on with the children.
Right. Well,
I don't know if you want to contribute anything.
All I was saying was that the thing is, because they've had years of establishing themselves as credible representatives in this arena,
and whistleblowers,
in the child
activists,
absolutely activists in the truth movement, and particularly with this topic of child ritual abuse. They've had years of establishing themselves, but it's going to be difficult. It may be difficult for some people's belief system to believe that Belinda's, working to stop people.
People's in a desperate situation, aren't they? I mean, they're not in the right frame of mind to start with, are they? It's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they want to guide them away from the truth of the fact that this cult, they're trafficking, they're stealing babies, they're stealing thousands of babies, and they're giving them over to adoption agencies that they have financial interest in. Social workers have been caught with financial interest in fostering and adoption agencies, and they're stealing your children, and they're giving them over to sodomite families. And Belinda McKenzie and Brian Garish and Bill Maloney and Sabine McNeil, these people are involved in assisting these cult members. All right, they've exposed themselves by their behaviour. Bill Maloney and Brian Garish know damn well that the story of their adopted children, that the story that Alicia and Gabriel have told is true, and yet they've said nothing. Only when Brian was obliged to say, because it was all over the newspapers. Something stinks.
Well, it was all over the internet as well, wasn't it? So he had to come back on board. But the thing is about the Hampstead area, it's quite a posh, rich kind of area, and you get a lot of city of London bankers there, politicians, and so this does go to the top. It's not just a little cult we're talking about here, is it?
Leon Britton, he's got the same tattoo as these lot. Leon Britton. And he's got
links to Hampstead as well there, hasn't he?
Who has?
Leon Britton.
Of course he has. This is an extension of his cult. That's why the tattoos, they will never investigate the tattoos. And that's why Brian Garish and Bill Maloney never said what they know about the tattoos.
It's too big for them. This is the big one. This is the big one, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be the big one. They're killing children. They're sodomizing children. They're trafficking children.
But this is the one that's exposing them.
But all the government, they're all doing it.
Yeah.
So paedophilia. Don't use that term, paedophilia. Paedophilia means child lover. Child lover. Friend of a child. They're not paedophiles. They are sodomites.
Yeah.
The right of sodomy is implemented in order for them to control and bind the children to them and to control the whole global population. They use the right of sodomy and child sacrifice, and they've been using it for 26,000 years, but they've come to the end of their rope. But they don't see it. They refuse to see it. But it's the end of their time now. This is why this information is being revealed, and it's exposing people. It's exposing people, and more people will be exposed. More people will be exposed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's really good info, and you know, I appreciate you sharing it with everyone. You know, it needs to get out.
We're sorry to have to give this information. We're sorry to look,
shocking.
it leaves a nasty taste in your mouth when you realise that there are people whose job it is to prevent you from getting to the truth. And these people are presenting themselves as paragons of truth.
And I mean, there's people actually dealing with them right now as well, and people that probably would have gone to them as well.
There are people who are being deceived by them as we speak.
Yeah.
Or we're letting the information out now, so that others will think twice.
Another when Abraham talked about this terminology they're using, yeah?
Yes, sorry, paedophile.
There is
Don't
another...
call them sodomite. Sorry.
No, I was going to mention that people using the word kids a lot, or kid.
Yeah.
This is it's a wrong term to call our children the kids, because the kids are sacrificial goats, and this is one of their tabistic terminology. The mind control, brainwashing.
This is how they manage our perception.
I mean, the one that I don't like is when they keep saying we're going to get to the bottom of this.
You
want to get to the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, they keep repeating that one a lot as well.
Yeah, they like it. Yeah, that's their little sodomite in-jokes.
Exactly.
When you start to analyze the way Belinda Mackenzie, for example, talks, or Hampstead, the way the Hampstead research is written, or the blogs written, the way the newspapers are written, the way that all these politicians talk, they talk Tavi speak.
One of our commentators, Driftlood, he calls it cult word magic. So now we call it Tavi speak cult word magic. Now what they do, the act of Tavi speak, is the substitution, omission
of the keywords,
of certain keywords or phrases, obfuscation, lies,
distraction,
and any other means in order to deceive and psychologically manage the perception of the listener or the reader. They are using blogs, media, newspaper. They're using anything at their disposal in order to manage the perception of the populace. The people are learning fast about this sodomite death cult. They're learning fast.
And it's time running out as well.
And we say to them,
we're running out of time to address and to deal with this problem, with this issue
in a rational,
in a peaceful, loving way.
Yeah, I mean, people need to wake up pretty fast. Yeah, definitely. It's not looking good, is it?
Well, something's going to give. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
When irresistible force meets a movable object, something has to give.
Yeah.
And they wish to adhere to their lie. They're holding fast to their lie. that I managed to coach the children into describing the intimate details of the pubenda of members of staff at the school whom I've never met. So I don't know about Miss Arden's pubenda or her or the 5p coin-sized wart that she's got, or the port wine stain on Kate Forsdyke's pubenda, or the tattoo on Galina Upton's. How on earth could I know that information? How could I coach the children? All right, this is why the tattoo information, or the distinguishing mark information, had to be buried in the storehouse at Chingford, had to be buried in Brian Gerrish's email, had to be buried in Bill Maloney's email, because they know it proves the children's testimony is true, because Liam Britton had a tattoo, and Andrew, who was abused by him, drew it. So they know. They're shields, mate.
Yeah, that's right. And now the other disturbing information that we received recently as well is the plan that local devised for the children, and and of course they're using the templates created and designed by Barbara Kahan and Peter Wright and her husband
Tavistock psychiatrist Vladimir Leon Aha.
That's
yes.
Right.
And now we have
those people have written those the policies and the instructions for future generation of social workers.
And psychologists and psychiatrists, child psychiatrists like Claire Sturge, Dr. Claire Sturge, who believes that bisexuality is our ideal state. These Freudian fakers who attempt to manage.
What did you say?
There was a talk at the four buildings recently. You can find it. You Google Four Paper Buildings, Claire Sturge, and you'll find the talk where she alludes to the ideal human state being bisexual. Mm-hmm. She's a Freudian faker like most of these Tavistockites, and they're exposing their occult affiliation.
And of course, she was involved in many other cases as well, doing the same dirty job.
Absolutely.
And she's done with Alisa and Gabriel, and completely dismissing Dr. Hunt's report as well, who, by the way, during the fact-finding, which I didn't participate in, confirmed her findings. And nevertheless, this was never taken in consideration, and the findings of the sexual abuse.
Who confirmed it?
Dr. Holtz during her testimony during the fact finding, and
Sturge challenged, psychiatrist Sturge challenged them on that.
I'm quite sure, but she confirmed again after two reports. There was something another report. Sometimes or another note during January, and then fact-finding, she confirmed it. And then, of course, Mrs. Copley, who appeared to have other expert area of expertise like children's psychology or medicine, she came to the conclusion that those findings were possible variants. So this is another example.
Another example.
Yeah.
Well done. Wonder what you were going there. So yes, we've got this Tavish-speaking pseudoscientists like Claire Sturge and others. This is part of the managing the public's perception into the new world order. They support the hypersexualization of the children with their media arm, BBC, FTV, Walt Disney, their subliminal sexual images, the sexualization of children. This is all part of their agenda to create sexual ambiguity amongst the populace and to forward their new world order satanic agenda. Right, the cult of reversal, advertised to D. Jacob Frank, cult of reversal. They're Satanists, They're Satanists, they're sodomizing children, they're sacrificing children, and this is the sordid secret that the likes of Belinda, Sabine, Brian Garish, Bill Maloney are covering up.
And they believe that bring them money and power.
Well, I'd say anyone that's not on board with this Hampstead cover-up, you know, you've got to pick sides now, haven't you? You know, you're either being exposed or you're on board trying to fight the truth now.
Absolutely, you know, it's separation of the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
Right, the separation of the wheat from the chaff. So we need to expose this sodomite death cult. They're fire worshippers. It's a fire worshipping sodomite death cult. And they want everybody to bow down to Satan. They want everybody to bow down to Lucifer. That's what they want.
And soon enough, I think everybody will have to make this choice, which side they're on.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, of course, we would like to address. We would like to convey our message to those people who are, maybe some of them are trapped in this cult, to come out and to speak the truth, because I'm sure many would realize by now, but that the much power that they were pursuing by joining this cult perhaps doesn't bring them the happiness they were looking for.
And you don't achieve eternal life by drinking the blood of their children.
Yeah, you only can attract death. This is so this. Anyway, don't you see that?
And life comes from life.
If I could just say, I mean, I remember Belinda saying that members of the cult had approached her. So obviously, I mean, people might have already been looking to get out of this cult, but they've met Belinda.
Apologise, she's an apologist. Belinda is an apologist for the cult, and what she was saying when she said that three separate families had contacted her was that for them, incest and sodomy is natural to them, and this is something that we've learned, that for certain cultures or families, this is normal. This is normal to them, and Belinda was saying that they did not want to feel criminalized for this behavior.
Okay.
And this is perfectly in line with their agenda and their attempt to normalize sodomy on children, child sodomy, and bestiality. There are European directives pushing for this, lobbying for this, and in the US, they've just Tom Daley's just revealed a memo, a Justice Department memo, which is attempting to legalize 12 activities, 2 of them being sodomy, child sodomy, and bestiality. So this is part of the New World Order agenda.
Yeah.
And they already legalized it in Portugal, where what is the main document, for the European Union? It talks about the respecting various sexual orientation, but there is an exclusion for child sodomy, and they admit it now in Portugal. They admit it now, this particular bit. And the agenda is to start to admit it in other countries as well, with respect to Germany, Netherlands, and other North European countries.
They're normalizing it. There's an attempt to normalize it.
And once main countries normalize it, the rest will follow, of course. They won't have choice unless they gonna exit the European Union.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. And we are advising the people and letting them know where they are. Because if you know you're living in Sodom and Gomorrah, you're living in a land of sodomites, a sodomite death cult, and you stay, then all you can expect is to be sodomized and to die. It's a death cult, it's a sodomite death cult, and this is all they've got to offer. They've got sodomy and death to offer.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say to that, bro. I mean, you're right. You're right. That is the future that they got for us if we don't try and do something about it, and that's what we're... The people that's here and staying for, you know, whatever reason, we're going to fight it and we're going to expose it.
Support
You don't need to, you're, by fighting them, you're engaging them, you're giving them your energy. You disengage. You disassociate.
and stop supporting the
Once
system.
everyone's safe and aware.
Personal choice, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Whether you want to be part of it, whether you want to support the system, and eventually to be a part.
Yeah.
You've got an announcement.
But no, I think we've said about the 4th of August. We
Yeah.
mentioned before that it would be great if people can attend. And so it happens right in front of public.
They haven't served papers that they're supposed to serve. They've been redacting documents. They're playing every trick in the book.
Right.
All right. But because it's in a family court and it's turned and they've committed criminal acts, it's going into the criminal courts. There's nothing they can do about it. This Hampstead cover-up that they were what they've done, they're having to cover up their cover-up now. And the people,
Such a clumsy car.
the people are neither evil nor foolish. They're neither evil nor foolish, and the public are seeing right through transparent.
American fabrication.
Yes.
Yes.
So, a few more people will be exposed before this is through.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, thank you once more. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share this information with your viewers. Guidance 2222.
And thank you for your support, and thank you for everybody else's support.
We very much appreciate what you're doing for the children. You're a legend. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Abraham. Appreciate, you know, that I can try and do something, and I hope everyone else tries what they can do as well. Don't just wait for Belinda and Bill and Brian to be doing it for you. Get out and do it yourselves.
Absolutely. Because when you've got people up there pretending they're doing it for you, that prevents you from doing anything. They say, oh yeah, we'll bring a crowd, and when you get there, there's the same 12 people that there were last time.
And it's a part of farce as well. Like news coming out and this child abuse and then police involved and Westminster.
Don't do anything. Bill Maloney's out there shouting. Don't do anything. Bill Maloney's shouting.
And Belinda with her megaphone.
You'll cut me accent.
And Belinda McKenzie in front of the High Court of Justice.
Yeah.
So there are
Belinda's got a megaphone and her flags.
And MPs talking about it, and John Herman talking about it.
Simon Danzig was talking about it, but he's got a better.
So, and I'm sure someone will do something about it. So it's fun. Don't worry about it. Go back.
What's the standard? What's the standard? Yeah, or X Factor.
Information you can actually maybe in the interview, which we forgot. Well, I think it's an interesting fact. She's going and saying, "Oh, I've been to Collindale Station, an affair for my life." Where, in fact, she did went to the police station and spoken to DC Spear, who is handling now these allegations of harassment against me. And he said, and he confided to her that, he should have actually forced entered to my property at the time of when they came to arrest me.
You wish he'd forced entry now.
He wished, and also he's the one who's going to be handling the operation of receiving Ella at the court as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's good fact,
Yeah. You know what I mean? And Belinda said, it'd be alright, even if they take you to jail. They'll have to and hold you on remand for the court case. They'll have to let you out. They'll bring you for the appeal. You know what I mean? Do you know damn well Ella ain't done nothing? What's the right Ella to go jail for?
Well, she just hot herself up with that, though, innit?
That's right.
Grass herself up.
She grass herself bang up, mate. She's in trouble, bro. It's on her.
Yeah.
We've got her surrounded. She don't like it. They're all chatting right now on the phone.
The same way.
Stink, all of them. Brian Garrett, Bill Maloney, all of them. Stink.
Yeah.
The same way she was sending me to Russia as well. When I left London,
Yeah.
she sent me a message where she mentions 5 times for me to go to Russia and put a lot of pressure on British government by
From Russia.
serious diplomatic channels and fight from there. Well, of course, she's pursuing 2 goals. One is to separate us,
Yeah.
because she knows that, you know, I'm going to weak on my own.
You're a good team together.
Exactly.
We're a good team together.
And of course to get rid of me, you know, put a serious pressure by
11, listen to this one though. Forgot a number.
I've got the 5-0 off me at the moment. They're on me.
Who's on ya?
5-0, they're right over me.
Over you, listen, blood.
who is
5-0.
Can you hear them? Can you hear them?
5-0. Yeah. No, we don't read it.
What you done to me, bro? Yes, mate. Mate.
You stay
I
blessed.
need to find out. It's all good because we all know now, innit?
Absolutely, and we got it. Not only do we know, but we got proof.
Yeah.
we got
Always comes in handy, innit?
This is the worst thing about it. We got proof, and we got proof out of Bill Maloney's mouth as well, because he chat. He's the one who told me that he knew about the tattoos.
Yeah.
That's how I know he knows about Leon Britton's tattoo. So if you know that Leon Britton's got a tattoo, and then you get an email from 2 little children about 2 little children who says that they've been raped and sodomized and babies are being killed by people with tattoos, why don't you say something, you piece of shit? Yeah, we've never shared this information with no one. We ain't never said it with no one. So we're saying it to you for the first time. And so when we're saying it to you, it's going in my head and my head's going, what? You're joking. Bill Maloney and Brian Gerrish knew that the children's story was true and they never said shit.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? It's shocking, mate. You know, when you find out.
It's good that it's all these people now being exposed, because they've been playing the public for a fool all this time. They created social services to steal legally, so-called legally, steal your children. They got the police to assist them, because social services got all the sort of philosophy behind it.
Oh, the pseudoscience.
Yeah, and then they got
Because it was made by,
police.
it was a sodomite charter.
Then,
Social services was formed by Barbara Khan and Peter Wright, and that's correct.
then people subsidize it by paying taxes and supporting the cult.
We're paying for them to steal
We
our
are
children.
paying them for stealing our children, sodomizing children, killing them, and brainwashing us
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and children.
Yeah.
And they just take full advantage of us, really. I mean, it's so open.
We are their cattle.
Well, this is exactly,
We are
exactly the same thing.
We are the
It's a
cattle.
But we're not, but that's what they think.
Precisely, according to them, but we're just showing them that we're not your cattle.
Yeah, yeah. And we're not afraid.
We're not afraid, we're your brethren, we're going to save you. Even though you're trying to bury us, we're here to help you.
Exactly, to come.
We don't want fight, we don't want war, we don't want to kill, we don't want to hurt. We want to forgive and love you and help you.
But stop doing it.
You have to
Stop doing it.
man.
You have
You
to.
have to stop.
There is no other choice.
Yeah.
You can either stop
It's time to
peacefully or otherwise. Or God will deal with you otherwise, I would imagine.
people up. Allah. Bless you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. We trust you got some good stuff that you can use there, bro. Bless you.
And good night to you.